Good afternoon, everyone. The House of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited extends a very warm welcome to well-known author of mathematics books and host of today's webinar, Dr. Ashish Bansal, and thanks all the teachers and students for joining in to listen to the expert views on this newly introduced Common University Admission Test, CUET, and how to go about it. A bit about the House of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited first. We are pioneers in the field of book publishing in post-independence India, catering to students from pre-primary to university level, churning out over 500 regular titles besides adding new ones to our stable. Known for competently written, elegantly produced, and reasonably priced books, our publications are widely prescribed in reputed schools and colleges, not only in India, but also in some neighboring countries. Our authors are distinguished academicians, professors, and educationists with vast experience and expertise. We are proud to be associated with them. About the host of today's webinar now. Dr. Ashish Bansal is currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics, Keshav Mahavidyalaya, University of Delhi. Former head of the Department of Mathematics, Dr. Bansal did his MSc Mathematics from St. Stephen's College, University of Delhi, and MPhil and PhD Mathematics from Delhi University. Dr. Bansal has been teaching mathematics to undergraduate students for more than a decade now. He has authored more than 40 textbooks for CBSE and ISC boards. Besides, he is regularly invited by various schools across the country to give a talk on mathematics, which has motivated many schools and students, and they have done remarkably well in the subject. Dr. Bansal has been a jury member of the national level exhibition and project competition held during 2014 and 15 and organized by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. He is also a member of the Ramanujan Mathematical Society, Indian Mathematical Society, and the Indian Science Congress Association. In fact, his list of achievements is way too long, and I congratulate him for achieving so much in such a short span of time, I would say. I now request Dr. Bansal to take you through today's webinar. Dr. Ashish Bansal.
Thank you so much, sir, for this kind introduction. Now, as the title of the webinar is suggesting, we are going to decode CUET UG Mathematics Exam 2022. Let us come to the agenda of the webinar first. In this webinar, we'll be talking about structure of the mathematics paper. The pattern and level of the questions shall also be discussed. We'll then move on to important topics and questions for the exam. And finally, some tips and tricks. Now, first thing first, what is CUET? All of you must have heard about this term quite regularly in the past few months. So CUET UG 2022, it stands for Common University Entrance Test. And UG stands for undergraduate. And this will be applicable for the admissions for the session 2022-2023. For the coming academic session, it will be there. It is a single entrance test, and several central universities and other state private universities have come up and they have agreed to be admitting students on the basis of this entrance test. So as of now, 86 universities are participating, and we hope more of the universities will be joining and they will be part of the CUET. For your information, let me tell you, there are 44 central universities, 12 state universities, 11 deemed universities, and 19 private universities that are part of it. The CUET exam shall be conducted by National Testing Agency, NTA. Now, since you have already filled the forms, So you must be aware of many things related to CUET, but I will briefly go into things. I'll let you know some important points that you might have missed in case, or to know things well. So exam will be held in July 2022, most probably. The date is yet not been finalized, but we hope that it will be there in July 2022 somewhere. As you all know, it's going to be conducted in the computer-based test mode, CBT mode. So it is going to be an online exam, but you need to visit a computer center, designated computer center, the center that is allotted to you, and you have to attempt there. The test will comprise of multiple choice questions only. So there will be 4 options and you need to select the correct choice. This is a screenshot of the website of NTA that you will be visiting while attempting your exam. So get yourself familiar with this picture. Familiarity with this picture is going to help you in the exam while attempting it. When you log in, first verify that your name is there instead of your name written. Exam name will be CUET. I've taken the screenshot of some other paper. And this is important thing, remaining time. This is the timer that is very important for you. This block is meant for question and its options will be visible on this block. You can see some buttons lying below it: save and next, clear, save and mark for review and next, back, next, submit. So these have some special functions. So I'll go one by one quickly into them. Let me come to this right hand side block. There are 5 buttons that are visible: 92 not visited, 3 not answered, 2 answered, 2 marked for review, and answered and marked for review. These are quite useful things for you. Just so listen carefully. When you first enter on this page, you'll see all of the questions here. These numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 50 you'll find, because you will be having 50 questions in your exam. So they will all be in gray colored square. So you'll find 50 not visited there. When you move to the next question, if you click this button, next button, you move to the next question. If you have not answered, if you have not made any choice before pressing this next button, it will be treated as not answered. So it will become orange in color. And in case you pick a choice, you make, if you select an option and then you click save and next, then it becomes answered. So the questions that you answer, they are highlighted in green colored with green colored button, and not answered are with orange. There is another option for you, mark for review. In case while attempting your question, you want to come back to this to a particular question again and review it, whether you have answered it correctly or not. You want to highlight it. So there is an option, mark for review. Now, mark for review can be done in 2 ways. Either you answer the question first and then mark it for review. Another way is you don't answer it and mark it for review. So this mark for review, this purple circled button, will appear if you do not answer the question and mark it for review. A purple circled button with a green dot will appear if you answer the question and mark it for review. So both ways you can mark. And when the time ends, the form will submit automatically. You can also submit the form before the time. There is a submit button there. But at the end of the time, it will submit automatically. So the number of questions that you have answered or not answered at that particular stage, that will be final. So if you have answered some question and marked it for review, that will be counted for assessment. You have answered it. You have additionally marked it for review. So since you have answered, it will be taken for assessment, whether it is correct or incorrect. And if you do not answer and simply mark it for review, it won't be considered for evaluation. So just get hold of this image very carefully, because if you are comfortable with these buttons and all, it will be very handy for you during the exam. Now, coming to the marking scheme of the examination. If you want to answer a question, you need to choose one option. Since you have MCQs, so there will be 4 options. You need to choose any one of them. If your answer is correct, you'll get +5 marks for it. In case of a wrong answer, -1 will be deducted. So there is a negative marking. So you have to be very careful while attempting the exam, that there is a scope of negative marking also. So when you are very confident about certain answer, only then you attempt it. If you leave something unanswered or you simply mark for review, that is not going to be evaluated. So 0 will be there for that question. So since there are 40 questions that you need to attempt, well, I'll come to that, and +5 for each correct answer. So the ideal situation is you mark every answer correctly. So you can attain 200 marks. So it's a 200 marks exam that you are going to attempt. Now coming to the structure of the CUET, this you are quite familiar with, I believe, since you have filled the forms, you have gone through things already. But just a matter of fact, there are 3 sections: section 1st, section 2nd, section 3rd. Section 1st has 2 parts: first A, first B. And in section 1st A, there are 13 subjects, 13 languages, and first B, there are 20 languages. And you need to attempt 40 questions out of 50 in each subject that you choose, and the duration is 45 minutes. Similarly, for section 2 subjects, which are domain specific subjects, a total of 27 subjects are available to choose from. And in the same way as in section 1st, you can attempt 40 questions out of 50, and the time duration is 45 minutes. For section 3rd, there is a general test, which has very general topics in nature. There is a slight difference in the number of questions there. Out of 75, you can attempt any 60 questions, and the time allotted is also 1 hour. 60 minutes are provided, whereas for other subjects, it is 45 minutes. So you have to remember that. So our main focus is on domain specific subject, one of the domain specific subject, which is mathematics. And that is our focus for the today's webinar. So paper code 319 is for mathematics / applied mathematics. So in class 12th, if somebody is has chosen mathematics or applied mathematics, it is meant for them. Now, there will be a common paper for both the papers. This paper is divided into 2 sections, section A and section B. Section B again has 2 parts, B1 and B2. Section A is compulsory for the students for both the category of students, those who have studied mathematics or those who have studied applied mathematics, it is compulsory for both of them. There's a common syllabus separately defined for section A, and from that syllabus there will be 15 questions. You have to attempt all of them. So there is no choice available since this syllabus is common. As far as section B1 is concerned, it is for mathematics students, those who have learned mathematics. And for section B1, there is a choice of 10 questions that has been provided. So out of 35 questions, one has to attempt 25. Any 25 questions can be attempted. And from section B2, again, 35 out of 35, 25 questions can be attempted. And the student can attempt either section B1 or section B2. So if you sum the number of questions up, what you get? You get 40 questions to be attempted out of 50. So which was the general structure. So for mathematics, we have 15 plus 25. Breakup is there. And the total duration to attempt 40 questions is 45 minutes. So in a way, you are getting almost 1 minute for one question. Right. So we have to speedily attempt the questions. So speed is required. Now, this is the main question that comes to the mind of each and every student. How to prepare with just 1 month left? So we are approximately 1 month away from the exam date. So how to prepare? So I'm giving some tips that would help you during this 1 month period to prepare well for the CUET exam, final exam. So first tip is, from my side, analyze the CUET syllabus. Since you have lots and lots of things to do, you have to have 9 subjects. So for to prepare 9 subjects simultaneously to attempt them, you need to prepare them well, right? So coming to the syllabus of section A, this is the syllabus for section A. You can look at the topics. You must have learned these topics in your class 12th. So same topics are there. And for section B1, I'll be focusing, which is for mathematics. So these are divided the units that they are mentioned in the syllabus into 13 chapters. So what I'm going to do now is I'll be analyzing the tip that I have given you a tip that analyze the CUET syllabus, but I'll be doing it for you for mathematics. For other subjects, you can do it in the similar way. So let us now analyze the first chapter, relations and functions. So in this tabular form, if you look carefully, the first column is the CUET syllabus, the topics which are mentioned in CUET syllabus, which is available online on the website, are given in the first column. In the second column, it is CBSE reduced. I'll come to this why reduced I've written. And another third column is ISC. See, during the pandemic period, CBSE and ISC and other boards also, they reduced their syllabus in order to help the students. They don't want to, they don't want the students to feel burdened, right? So that's why they reduced the syllabus. But for CUET, it is the complete syllabus. There is no reduction. So that comparison is going to help you. So what I have done, see, the first topic is types of relations: reflexive, symmetric, transitive, and equivalence relations. So this topic was available in CBSE reduced. Reduced means the reduced syllabus. So it is available there, means all of the students who have taken exam from CBSE board, they have learned this topic, they have understood this topic. And similarly, it was also part of the syllabus of ISC exams. And other boards, if you are in some other board from UP board or Haryana board, say, you can go and have a check and compare the syllabus. So why this comparison is helpful, you'll get to know. One-to-one and on-to functions was available in both this CBSE and ISC. Composite functions not available in CBSE. It was not taught. It was not part of the CBSE exam. But for ISC students, it was there. Inverse of a function and binary operations, not for CBSE and ISC. But it's there in the CUET syllabus. And this is known to the NTA. They are preparing questions. They know the students have been through pandemic situation and their syllabus was reduced. They were not taught all the concepts, all the topics in their classes, in their schools. So they know this thing well. So my idea is they'll get majority of questions from this chapter, from this portion, which was there in most of the boards. For this 2022, I'm telling. I'm not telling this thing for the next year. Remember, this is not going to be a pattern. Next year, it will be a different thing. But since this current batch, the 21-22 batch, has learned the reduced syllabus, so I believe that majority of the questions will be from these two topics only, not from this. Not much is going to be there. But you cannot say that they won't be asking anything from these three. Why? Because they have given the internal choice of 10 questions. So if somebody, if a question from inverse of a function comes and somebody says, I have not attempted, fine, you leave it in your choice. It's not a harm for you. So the priority should be these two topics, and later on you can learn these. Learning is never harmful, right? If you learn more of mathematics, it is going to help you one day or the other. So, but if you are burdened, if you believe you have very limited time and more things to prepare, so focus on these important topics. So these are important topics from my side. I'll give you some tips and a little bit of tricks related to some problems during this analysis only. Let us consider this question, for instance. Let A equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. The set A is given to us, and the relation R on A is defined as R equal to, this is the set, which is the relation on the set A. The question is, then R is not reflexive. B option is reflexive but not symmetric. C says reflexive, symmetric but not transitive. And D says reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So I hope you have got your answer. The correct option is D, let me tell you. Now the tip I'm going to give here, that such questions can be part of the exam. So you have to be very fast in calculating things. You don't need to write this much. I've written the solution in front of you, but you don't need to write. You just need to think or write a few things on the piece of paper that will be made available to you. So we are given the set A and R is the relation on A. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. For reflexivity, आप इनको check कीजिए फटाफट से. 0 should be related to itself. So 0, 0 is there, 1, 1 is there, 2, 2 is there, 3, 3 is there. So it is reflexive straight away. For symmetry, the symmetry says if A is related to B, then B should be related to A. It's a conditional statement. So one way of checking is 0, 0 ka reverse क्या होगा? 0, 0 itself, it is there. 0, 1 का reverse क्या होगा? 1, 0, it is there, ये रहा. 0 3 का रिवर्स 3 0, ऐसे आप एक एक एलिमेंट का रिवर्स चेक कीजिए। एक दूसरी मतलब ट्रिक कह सकते हो आप, मेरी तरफ से एक सजेशन कह सकते हो, यू कैन स्ट्रेट अवे राइट आर इन वर्ड्स फॉर दीज फाइनाइट सेट्स, इट वर्क्स। You write R in words 0 0 1 0, you will quickly write, and it should be equal. These two should be equal sets. This makes R symmetric. And for transitivity, you need to check one by one. And my suggestion is for transitivity, just ignore these terms which are related to each other. 0 0 1 1 2 2 3 3, इनको आप ignore कर सकते हैं। 0 1 यहाँ पे है, 1 0 है, तो 0 0 should be there, it is there, yes. 0 3 है, फिर 3 0 है, तो 0 3 3 0 is 0 0, 0 0 should be there, yes, it is there. Because for transitivity, what do we need? If AB and BC are in R, then AC should be there in R. So in this way, you can check. So this is an important question. Such questions can be asked. Fine. So while preparing, your focus should be towards the concept. अगर आप बोर्ड एग्जाम को देखें तो वहां पे 2 मार्क्स 4 मार्क्स 6 मार्क्स से क्वेश्चन आते थे, सब्जेक्टिव पेपर होता है। तो सब्जेक्टिव पेपर में लेंथी क्वेश्चंस का स्कोप होता है, जैसे ग्राफ प्लॉट करना है या मैक्सिमा मिनिमा के क्वेश्चंस हैं व्हिच आर लेंथी, राइट? So you need to solve, you need to present to the examiner that you know the steps, how to compute, how to calculate, and how to solve a particular question. यहाँ पे आपको वो सब शो नहीं करना है, यहाँ पे आपको कैलकुलेशन अपने एंड पे करनी है, and you need to get the final answer. So where the calculations are very big, those topics, those questions can be avoided. So you should now focus on the concepts firstly, means the definition part. Definitions are very important now because they make you understand, they make you attempt the question, small questions that can be framed related to a particular topic. So what is a relation? What is a reflexive relation? Symmetric, transitive? Because while solving problems, you get very familiar with the pattern कि किस तरह से solve करना है, वो आपको टेक्निक आ जाती है, वर्किंग रूल आ जाता है, you hardly bother about the definition and things, but here now you need to focus on them also. Now I'm moving towards the second chapter. It is inverse trigonometric functions. Definition, range, domain, principal value branches. This topic, these topics were available in CBSE as well as ISC syllabus, both. Graphs of inverse trigonometric functions, it was not there in any of the boards. And elementary properties of inverse trigonometric functions, it was deleted from CBSE but not from ISC. So again, my say will be this definition, range, ये होगा, और साथ में elementary properties ये भी आ सकती हैं. It was deleted only from CBSE but not from other boards. So this can be, but you can pay a little attention towards graphs if you have less time. If you have ample time, you prepare everything well, right? Matrices. So this is the topic which is the favorite for the student. It's nice, easy going for the students. So इसका सिलेबस कभी बच्चे ज्यादा नहीं बोलते हैं. So concept, notation, order, equality, transpose, symmetric, skew symmetric. Yes, symmetric and skew symmetric matrices, a good number of questions can be framed. So pay good attention to these two types of matrices. Addition, multiplication, scalar multiplication, you know. Simple properties of addition, multiplication, this you know well. Now this is crucial. Non-commutativity of multiplication of matrices and existence of non-zero matrices. Why this is crucial? Let me bring it to your notice. So you have solved a quadratic equation in your 10th class. You get the product of while finding the roots of a quadratic equation, you make the factors, right? And then you say either of the two is 0. So if I ask you, can you have two non-zero numbers, and their product is 0? Say real numbers you have, any two real numbers which are both non-zero, and when you multiply them, you get product as 0. No, it's not possible. Fine. So you need one number to be 0 out of the two. Is this the case with matrices? Can you have two non-zero matrices and their product is a 0 matrix? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. And I have written an example in front of you. So if the product of two matrices is a 0 matrix, then it is not necessary that one of the matrices is a 0 matrix. Right. जरूरी नहीं है कि कोई एक 0 हो, दोनों non-zero हो सकती हैं. So meaning thereby two non-zero matrices may have the product 0. So with this information, questions can be framed in a way or two. So you need to focus on these type of things while preparing. Because usually in CBSE board, I have not seen any question coming related to this property of matrices in the recent past. For the past 10-15 years, I can visualize, and there was no question related to this topic. But for CUET, it becomes all the more very important. And why? Because for CUET, they have said the syllabus and the pattern and the things, the level is going to be of at par with NCERT, and it's exemplar. So you need to prepare things as if you are preparing for CBSE boards. The level is there. Moving to the next chapter, chapter 4, determinants. If you look at the topics, determinant of a square matrix, minors, cofactors, these were there in CBSE and ISC both. Properties of determinants, they were removed from CBSE, but for ISC they were there. But my suggestion would be that everyone should prepare the properties of determinant. There's a good number of questions that can be framed from properties of determinant. एक डिटर्मिनेंट आपको दिया जाएगा, उसको इवेल्युएट करना होगा 3x3. सो यूजुअली स्टूडेंट्स डायरेक्ट मेथड अप्लाई करते हैं कि इट्स a 3x3 determinant and they find its value directly. But if we apply the properties of determinants, we can get the answer without much calculations. So if you have not read it, and it was not taught to you during your class in the school, I would suggest you to go through it. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's very easy. You can cover this thing up. Application of determinants and finding the area. It's a simple thing. You can easily do this topic. Adjoint and inverse of a square matrix. Again, an easy thing for you. Then consistency, inconsistency. It was not there in CBSE and ISC, but solving is there. Solving a system using the inverse of a matrix. So, but I don't think this question related to solving of equations is going to make any impact. See, 3 equations आपको दी जाएंगी, आपको मान लीजिए, या 2 equations दी जाएंगी, नीचे आपके पास options available हैं. You can straight away put the values in the equation and get the answer. You are not going to form a matrix and evaluate the answer from the inverse of a matrix. It's a tedious task for you. लेकिन सब्जेक्टिव जब क्वेश्चन आते हैं सीबीएसई में, तब तो आपको 3 इक्वेशन दी, आपको मैट्रिक्स मेथड का यूज करके ही उसको सॉल्व करना. ओनली देन यू विल गेट द मार्क्स, राइट? बट फॉर सीयूईटी द वे ऑफ सॉल्यूशन इज नॉट important for us. We need to get the final answer. So if I give you three equations with three variables, you'll simply put the values there, check which one is satisfied, and you'll take the appropriate answer. So that's why this topic is not that important for CUET. So this way you can cross out the topics that you don't need to pay attention to. क्योंकि उनमें से अगर कोई क्वेश्चन आ भी जाएगा तो फिर कोई बात नहीं, you'll be attempting, you'll be able to get to the answer, right? And similarly, if I tell you about this applications of determinants in finding the area of triangle, so आपको triangle के vertices दिए हुए हैं 3, और तीनों वर्टिसेस से वो कह रहा है कि डिटरमिनेंट्स की हेल्प, पेपर में ये तो नहीं कहेगा डिटरमिनेंट्स की हेल्प से आपको एरिया ऑफ ट्रायंगल फाइंड करना है, ठीक है ना? 3 वर्टेक्स दिए हैं, आप उसको कैसे भी एरिया, देयर आर अदर सिंपल मेथड्स आल्सो फ्रॉम व्हिच यू कैन फाइंड द एरिया, और यू कैन यूज द डिटरमिनेंट्स आल्सो टू फाइंड द एरिया. So these are some of the things that you can take care while preparing for this chapter. Next chapter is continuity and differentiability. The continuity and differentiability, the derivative of composite functions, chain rule, these are part of the CBSE and ISC syllabus and quite easy for the students. Students enjoy this topic. They feel slight difficulty in differentiability and continuity and their limit definition when it is discussed. So prepare them well, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन वहां से फ्रेम किए जा सकते हैं. किसी फंक्शन का डेरिवेटिव कैलकुलेट करना है, फर्स्ट डेरिवेटिव, सेकंड डेरिवेटिव, दैट्स एन इजी एक्सरसाइज फॉर यू. आई बिलीव आप सब बड़े एक्सपर्ट हो गए होंगे इसमें कि कोई भी फंक्शन उसका डेरिवेटिव क्या होगा. सो रिवाइज देम वेल, क्वेश्चंस विल बी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, नो इश्यूज. I would like to focus on Rolle's and Lagrange's mean value theorems because questions can be framed from this topic. CBSE में इसमें से मैंने कम ही देखा क्वेश्चंस आते हुए. मतलब अगर आप पीरियड देखें 4 या 5 साल का, उसमें कभी एक साल किसी पेपर में आ जाता है रोल्स या Lagrange's mean value theorem से. Otherwise it is avoided. I don't know why, but it is avoided by CBSE boards in the papers. I'll discuss a few things about Rolle's and Lagrange's mean value theorem that would help you if you listen to my words carefully. तो इसको आपको प्रिपेयर ज्यादा करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. अभी 2-3 मिनट के डिस्कशन से ही आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि इसमें कैसे क्वेश्चन फ्रेम कर सकते हैं, या कोई भी किया जाएगा तो आप अटेम्प्ट कर पाएंगे उसको. So geometrical interpretation of Rolle's theorem. What does the Rolle's theorem say? Suppose you have a function, real valued function defined on an interval AB, and there are 3 conditions for it. Firstly, the function should be continuous. Secondly, it should be differentiable on the open interval. And thirdly, FA should be equal to FB, right? These are the 3 conditions for the Rolle's theorem. Geometrically, what do they mean? That I have mentioned. That if I take fx to be a real valued function, you can look at the graph. It starts from A, goes till B, and it is continuous between these 2 points. Means you don't lift the pen while drawing this graph. A से start करो, B तक जाइए बिना पेन को उठाए. So it is continuous. Differentiability means it has a unique tangent with finite slope at every point. Means there should not be a corner. मैं आपके लिए टिप बता देता हूं एक, कि कॉर्नर नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर कोई भी फंक्शन है जिसमें एज आ जाए, it is not going to be differentiable. Okay. So there should not be edge. So that means there should be a unique tangent at every point. So इस तरह से edge नहीं आना चाहिए, vertex. It should be smooth like this. आप mod x का अगर ग्राफ देखें, it's a graph of this shape, right? So there is an edge. That is why this function is not differentiable at 0, and rest it is differentiable at other points. So this is a crucial thing. You should remember this. So जहां भी edge हो ग्राफ में, आप ऐसा ग्राफ देखेंगे मान लीजिए, तो ये यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे इन 3 पॉइंट्स पे डिफरेंशिएबल नहीं है. इट कैन बी डिफरेंशिएबल एट अदर पॉइंट्स. So this is the way to look at differentiability. And then we are saying the ordinates at the endpoints. FA equal to FB means ये line, ये horizontal, these 2 points A and B should lie on a horizontal line. FA is this height, FB is this height. They are equal means A and B, they lie on the same height, right? Same level pe hai. So the Rawls theorem says there exists at least one point CFC between A and B on which the tangent is parallel to x-axis, like this. This is the point where the tangent is parallel to axis, the slope is 0, and at this point. तो कम से कम एक पॉइंट जरूर मिलेगा आपको जहां पर टेंजेंट क्या होगा, हॉरिजॉन्टल होगा या पैरेलल टू एक्स एक्सिस होगा. यहाँ पे 2 मिल रहे हैं, वो कहता है एटलीस्ट 1 मिलेगा. I hope it is clear to you. And similarly for Lagrange's mean value theorem, the first 2 conditions are there. The function should be continuous. It should have a unique tangent, means it should be differentiable between the 2 points. But the third condition is not there, means A and B can lie on different levels. A और B अलग-अलग लेवल पे हो सकते हैं. यहाँ पे F और FB डिफरेंट है. सो यहाँ पे ये गारंटी तो नहीं है कि एक पॉइंट ऐसा मिले कि जहाँ पे स्लोप 0 यानी हॉरिजॉन्टल मिले आपको टेंजेंट. वो यहाँ पे पॉसिबल हो रहा है, but it is not mandatory, right? But for Lagrange's mean value theorem, what do we have? We'll find at least one point between A and B where the tangent is parallel to the secant AB. A और B को आप join कीजिए. This is the secant AB. And you'll find a point where the tangent is parallel to this. And what is the slope of the secant? If I ask you, what is the slope of the secant? इसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स आपके पास हैं BFB. ठीक है, तो आप क्या लिखते हो, FB minus FA divided by B minus A. That should be the slope of this point at this line, which is the derivative F dash C. Derivative gives you the slope. So F dash C should be equal to FB minus FA divided by B minus A, which is the condition for the Lagrange's mean value theorem. So इसमें questions frame किए जा सकते हैं काफी अच्छे से. So you need this understanding. Now I'm moving to the next topic. Chapter 6, applications of derivatives. You can focus on increasing, decreasing functions. Good amount of questions can be framed there, tangent and normal, maxima, minima. But big word problems can be avoided. Those are related to cones and cylinders and big wires. वो problems के chances कम हैं उसमें, जो 6 marks में usually CBSE board में या ISE board में पूछे जाते हैं. Those can be avoided, but simple maxima minima problems, first derivative test, second derivative test, all those can be covered. Indefinite integration, chapter 7. I think students enjoy doing integration also, like differentiation. Integration by substitution, by partial fraction, by part. This is part of the syllabus for CUET, and you can find questions from this topic. Right, so nothing much to tell. Integration बच्चे normally कर ही लेते हैं अच्छे से. For definite integration and application of integrals, which is the area under the curve. So limit of sum, there is no point asking. Limit of sum is a method of calculating definite integrals using limits. And suppose I ask you in the exam, in the MCQ, कि इस integral को evaluate कीजिए using limit of sum. You are not going to do that. And even the question cannot be asked, should not be asked that way, because आप integral को direct solve कर लेंगे उसको, because it's not required. So chances are less कि integral limit of sum से आएगा कुछ question उसमें से. कोई इसका फॉर्मूला पूछ ले वो एक अलग चीज है कि लिमिट ऑफ सम का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है, क्या लिमिट आती है, दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड, but not the problem solving from there. Fundamental theorem of calculus without proof, but you should note the statement. Questions can be framed around that. Theoretical things can be, objective questions can be framed. Basic properties of definite integrals that you know, evaluation of definite integrals, ये आप अच्छे से prepare कर लीजिएगा. फिर area under the curve की बात है. Question can be asked. एक आपको सर्कल तो नहीं देगा ऑब्वियसली, अब ऐसा नहीं करेगा कि सर्कल दे दे और कहे कि आप इसका एरिया फाइंड कीजिए, आप डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे आंसर आ जाएगा, आप एरिया तो प्लॉट ही नहीं करेंगे, ना एलिप्स में होगा. पैराबोला दिया जा सकता है या स्ट्रेट लाइन दी जा सकती है कोई, तो जब आप ग्राफ बनाएंगे तो आप एरिया डायरेक्टली कंप्यूट कर सकें एरिया ऑफ ट्राइंगल की हेल्प से, वैसे कर लीजिए. इंटीग्रेशन से आपको आता ही है करना, वहां से कर सकते हो. सो बट चांसेस आर लेस कि एरिया से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा. Chapter 9, differential equations. You can talk about definition, order, degree there. बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चंस बन सकते हैं. डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन दी जा सकती है आपको और आपसे ये पूछा जा सकता है कि what is the order of this differential equation, what is the degree of the differential equation, right? So this can be asked. मेथड ऑफ सेपरेशन ऑफ वेरिएबल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है. लीनियर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन में आ सकता है. इसमें आपसे इंटीग्रेटिंग फैक्टर पे क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है कि एक डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन दी लीनियर और कहे कि इसका इंटीग्रेटिंग फैक्टर बताइए, दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड. सो इंटीग्रेटिंग फैक्टर्स को अच्छे से प्रिपेयर कर लीजिएगा. एक डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन होमोजीनियस है या नहीं है, उसके लिए जो टेस्ट होता है आप वो एक प्रिपेयर कर लीजिएगा जरूर. देन चैप्टर 10, वेक्टर्स. वेक्टर्स आपको पता है क्या होते हैं. वेक्टर्स हैं, स्केलर्स हैं, मैग्नीट्यूड एंड डायरेक्शन ऑफ ए वेक्टर, डायरेक्शन कोसाइन, डायरेक्शन ratios of a vector. Yes, good number of questions can be formed from direction cosines and direction ratios. Types of vectors, position vector of a point, negative of a vector. So these topics can be prepared. Projection was not there in CBSE and ISE, and so is the scalar triple product. So chances are less कि इसमें से question आएगा. But it is a simple formula for projection that you can remember. For three-dimensional geometry, direction cosines and direction ratios of a line, Cartesian and vector equation of a line, coplanar and skew lines, shorter distance between two lines. So एंगल के ऊपर जो क्वेश्चन है वो CBSE में नहीं थे इस बारी, तो मुझे लगता है चांसेस कम है. But again, you don't know since they have mentioned these topics in the syllabus, so they have the full authority. Yeah, there is a question that been asked, is indefinite integrals in the syllabus? Yes, as far as CBS, the CUET syllabus is concerned, it is there. Integrals of certain types are there that I've mentioned. Next is chapter 12, linear programming. Introduction, related terminology such as constraints, objective functions. There is one more question coming up by Dhruv Jain. Will there be case-based questions in CUET? See, as far as mathematics is concerned, ultimately the things are mathematical in nature when the case-based study is also there. अब मान लीजिए रिलेशन का ही क्वेश्चन है जिसमें आपको सेट A 1 2 3 4 5 दिया है, या 1 2 3 4 5 6 दे दिया मान लीजिए. आप उसको डायरेक्ट वो पूछने की बजाय उसको डाइस से रिलेट कर दे. सपोज देयर आर टू चिल्ड्रन हु आर प्लेइंग अ गेम ऑफ लूडो और वन ऑफ देम थ्रोज अ डाइस एंड द नंबर्स दैट मे टर्म अप, उसका सेट बना लीजिए A और फिर उस पर बेस्ड वो क्वेश्चन पूछ ले. So that can be done, but if you look at the case-based study questions in CBSE that they appear, they give a case study and they ask 4 or 5 related questions, right? But that is not going to be there as CUET paper is there, because वो independent questions normally देते हैं MCQs में कि एक क्वेश्चन का दूसरे के साथ रिलेशन नहीं होता है, इंडिपेंडेंट होता है. तो मेरे लिए चांसेस कम है कि केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आएंगे. बट अगेन अगर वो आते भी हैं, यू विल बी एबल टू हैंडल देम वेल, क्योंकि आपको मैथमेटिक्स अल्टीमेटली आता है. सो यू नीड नॉट फोकस मच ऑन द केस बेस्ड स्टडी क्वेश्चंस, केस स्टडी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, राइट. इसमें ग्राफ लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग में से कुछ थियोरेटिकल कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चंस बन सकते हैं, बट ग्राफिकल मेथड से सॉल्व करना मुझे चांसेस कम लगते हैं कि उसमें से पूछा जाएगा. पूछा जाना भी नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि ग्राफ प्लॉट करना एग्जैक्टली एक्यूरेटली टेक्स टाइम एंड यू हैव अराउंड अ मिनट टू सॉल्व. सो आई डोंट थिंक you will find much of the questions from linear programming, but certainly some conceptual questions can be there. Then probability, multiplication theorem, conditional probability, independent events. There is one more question, I'll come to that later. Chapter 13 probability में आप you can learn conditional probability, you can prepare independent events, total probability. Students find it relatively easy. The mean and variance questions were not there in CBSE and ISC, but I would suggest that you read them. You have an idea of the formula, क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं है. एक simple formula है mean और variance compute करने के लिए. If you know what random variable and its probability distribution is, mean and variance can be calculated. So it's better to have an idea. Binomial distribution भी वैसे easy एक straightforward formula है, Bernoulli theorem है. But since the students have not read in their syllabus, so it would be difficult for them. But if time permits you, if you are able to cover things well, तो आप इसको कवर कर लीजिए, अच्छा रहेगा. ठीक है. Now this was the first tip from my side. Now another thing that I would like to share with you. The second tip: make a timetable. First thing I've done, I've analyzed the syllabus for you. Make a timetable now. List the subjects that you would that you are going to prepare for your CUET, and give each subject a healthy slot daily if possible. नहीं तो alternate days पे हर subject को आप पढ़िए जरूर. ठीक है. टाइम टेबल बनाएंगे तभी चीज़ों को कवर कर पाएंगे. अदरवाइज नॉर्मली होगा क्या, जो टॉपिक्स आपको बहुत पसंद है, आपको इजी लगते हैं, यू फील कंफर्टेबल, आप उन्हीं को पढ़ते रहेंगे. आई वुड से कि जो चीज़ें आपको अच्छे से आती हैं उनको अभी कुछ दिन साइड में रखिए. जो चीज़ें कम आती हैं उन पे थोड़ा सा टाइम लगाइए टू मेक योर सेल्फ कंफर्टेबल विद दोज टॉपिक्स ऑल्सो. सो दैट इज द वे टू गो. Next tip, tip 3, revise concepts that you have learned in your class 12. जो चीज़ें आपने क्लास 12th में पढ़ी हैं, जैसे पढ़ी हैं, उनको उस तरह से रिकॉल करने की कोशिश कीजिए, उनको लर्न कीजिए, उन्हीं चीज़ों को पढ़िए. 12th क्लास की कोई नई किताब मत उठाइए कि आप 12th क्लास के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हैं या उसमें से चीज़ें कर रहे हैं. डोंट डू दैट. जो नोट्स हैं आपके क्लास 12th के, सिर्फ वही पढ़िए. Avoid studying difficult topics in succession. At a time एक ही difficult topic आप pick कीजिए. That is my suggestion for you. मैच करके पढ़िए कि थोड़ा सा टॉपिक, जैसे मान लीजिए मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ रहे हैं, आपने डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन पढ़ा, आपको थोड़ा मुश्किल लगता है मान लीजिए वो, तो उसके साथ में थोड़ा सा आप रीजनिंग का क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं. जो आपका जनरल टेस्ट है, रीजनिंग पढ़ सकते हैं. सो थोड़ा सा आपका इंटरेस्ट बना रहेगा एंड बोरिंग नहीं होगा, एंड इट वुड बी फ्रूटफुल फॉर यू. Fifth tip from my side: thoroughly complete a standard book on CUET mathematics. This is the book I would suggest you to follow. Me and Dr. Piyush Bansal have compiled this book, and we have written this book for you. It contains more than 1500 questions, so it is going to be a very good help for you. Practice MCQs. This is the most important thing, and different varieties of questions that shall be asked in CUET. तो अब प्रिपरेशन आपकी MCQs पैटर्न पे होनी चाहिए कि आप कोई टॉपिक पढ़ें, उसके क्वेश्चंस आपको सॉल्व करने की जरूरत नहीं है, MCQs को देखिए और उनको सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कीजिए रादर देन योर CBSE क्वेश्चंस, उनको मत देखिए। तो आपकी हेल्प के लिए मैं टाइपोलॉजी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस भी बता देता हूं कि किस किस टाइप के क्वेश्चन CUET में फ्रेम किए जा सकते हैं। द फर्स्ट टाइप इज मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस विद वन करेक्ट चॉइस. Second is assertion reason questions. Third type is true or false questions. Fourth type combination with single answer type questions. And fifth matching type questions. There can be many more types, but these are the 5 main types that are part of the CUET, I believe. इससे ज़्यादा इससे बाहर नहीं जाएंगे वो लोग. एक सीक्वेंसिंग टाइप होती है, बट मैथमेटिक्स में सीक्वेंसेस के स्कोप कम ही होता है. A brief idea about these things. Multiple choice questions में क्या होगा, 4 choices होंगी A, B, C, D, out of which only one is correct. You have to pick the correct answer. ये क्वेश्चन कुछ ऐसा दिखेगा कि आपको एक क्वेश्चन दिया जाएगा, उसके 4 पार्ट्स हैं A, B, C, D. Only one option is correct. You have to pick the correct answer. In the assertion reason question, इसमें क्या होगा, 2 स्टेटमेंट्स आपको दी जाएंगी. एक स्टेटमेंट होगी असर्शन A एंड दूसरा रीजन R, और 4 ऑप्शंस ये फिक्स होंगे. यही 4 ऑप्शंस आपको मिलेंगे इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस में. फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज बोथ A एंड R आर करेक्ट एंड R इज द करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ A, कि दोनों A और R जो स्टेटमेंट्स हैं करेक्ट हैं और R उसकी करेक्ट, जो रीजन है वो इसकी करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन है. This is the first option. Second is both A and R are correct, but R is not the correct explanation. ये correct explanation नहीं है. Statement दोनों ठीक हैं, but R is not the explanation of A. A is correct, R is not correct. A is not correct, R is correct. So these are the possible options. In A, B, C, D ही हैं. इनमें से कोई एक आपको पिक करना होगा. इस तरह का क्वेश्चन फ्रेम किया जा सकता है. असर्शन A, रीजन R और ये 4 ऑप्शन, तो कोई एक करेक्ट आंसर होगा इसमें से. तो आपको इस तरह की नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. द सम ऑफ द डायगोनल एलिमेंट्स ऑफ स्क्यू सिमेट्रिक मैट्रिक्स इज 0. ये एक असर्शन है, अजम्पशन है, और रीजन है इसका कि ऑल द डायगोनल एलिमेंट्स ऑफ स्क्यू सिमेट्रिक मैट्रिक्स आर 0. तो इससे रिलेटेड आपको आंसर करना होगा. इस बुक में हमने ये सभी चीजें कवर की हैं. हर चैप्टर में ऑल द 5 टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन कवर्ड. And a good amount of practice is there, so you can have a look. In true or false questions, there will be 2 statements, statement first and statement second, and you have to pick any one correct option from these 4. The first one says both statement first and second are correct. Both are incorrect. First is correct, second incorrect, first incorrect, second correct. So ये 4 बन सकते हैं. This is one of the questions that can be asked. Every continuous function is differentiable. Every differentiable function is continuous. So you have to pick any one of these 4 options. So ये कुछ इस तरह से दिखेगा true or false. वो वैसा true false नहीं होगा कि आपको true T या F लिखना है. It will be of this form. Another is combination with single answer type questions. इसमें भी MCQ आएगा, लेकिन जो इसके ऑप्शंस होंगे वो इस तरह से होंगे. देखिए, जैसे एक क्वेश्चन दिया, उसके 4 पार्ट दे दिए A, B, C, D, और करेक्ट ऑप्शन मतलब जो मल्टीपल करेक्ट चॉइसेस हो सकते हैं उसको इस तरह से पूछा जाता है कि A, B एंड D दे आर करेक्ट. दिस इज A ऑप्शन, स्मॉल a. स्मॉल B ऑप्शन इज A, C एंड D. जो ये ऊपर A, C और D हैं, ये तीनों करेक्ट हैं. A, B, C तीनों करेक्ट हैं. B, C, D तीनों करेक्ट हैं. सो एक क्वेश्चन के 4 आंसर हो सकते थे, लेकिन उनको फिल एक ही कराना था, तो इस तरह से वो क्वेश्चन को फ्रेम कर सकते हैं. सो इसको बोलते हैं कॉम्बिनेशन विद सिंगल आंसर टाइप क्वेश्चन. सो आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चन CUET में मिलेगा, इट विल हैव 4 ऑप्शंस ओनली, बट एंड करेक्ट विल बी ओनली 1. लेकिन आप इस क्वेश्चन में देखिए कितनी स्मार्टनेस से पूछा गया ये क्वेश्चन. तो सच क्वेश्चंस कैन बी आस्क्ड. मैचिंग टाइप क्वेश्चंस, इसमें क्या होगा, दो लिस्ट आपको दी जाएंगी, फर्स्ट लिस्ट सेकंड लिस्ट, और आपको उसको पिक करना होगा. इसमें करेक्ट ऑप्शन भी देखिए ABCD कैसे पूछे गए हैं. P1 लिख रहे हैं मतलब P की करेक्ट चॉइस इधर फर्स्ट है लिस्ट सेकंड से, Q का 3 है, R का 2, S का 4, या फिर P3 Q4 R1 S2, या फिर P2 Q4 R3 S1. तो इसमें से कौन सा करेक्ट ऑप्शन है आपको ये पिक करना है. और इसमें काफी क्वेश्चंस कवर हो जाते हैं. आप देखें प्लेन के 4 क्वेश्चंस आ गए एक साथ ही. ठीक है, एक क्वेश्चन में ही 4 क्वेश्चंस हो गए हैं. सो ये छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर थिंग्स ऑब्जेक्टिवली. As a information, I would like to inform that in this book we have these many unsolved questions. So in these 13 chapters and one mock test paper, we have a total of 1644 questions. It's a huge number of questions, and it will give you every possible question, I believe. I'm not saying that everything is going to be there from this book only. No, mathematics is very vast. It cannot be covered in a single book or a limited number of pages. But yes, the level they are seeking, 12th class का CBSE का syllabus या NCERT का syllabus, उस level के सभी questions NCERT के covered हैं. So it's a huge amount of practice that one can have. Now the question is, जब 1644 क्वेश्चंस हैं तो इनके सॉल्यूशंस कैसे चेक करेंगे. टीचर्स तो अवेलेबल नहीं होंगे और कौन कितने क्वेश्चन चेक कर पाएगा. सो वी हैव वर्क समथिंग फॉर यू. Our website is www.clarifyde.in. It is CLARIFYDE.in, and you'll find the complete solutions for all the unsolved questions in our book. Each and every question is fully solved on this website, so you go and have a look, but you need to purchase the book for that. Now moving to the next step, you can solve, you should solve the mock test papers. You'll get to know the difficulty level of the paper, the types of the questions that are asked in the exam. You can test yourself whether you are prepared well for the upcoming exam or not, whether you are missing something. And it will also boost your confidence. If you solve a mock test well, it will boost your confidence. Yes, you are on the right track, you're preparing well. So solving mock test papers is very important. So one of the mock test paper is there. You keep it for the last. अपनी book में कीजिएगा उसको. NTA has also come up with some test practice centers at certain places. You can check their website and you can have a hands-on session there. You can find find yourself comfortable there कि क्या उनका environment है वहाँ पे, और कैसे computers पे आप काम करेंगे, कैसे test attempt करेंगे. So you can get yourself familiar with the things there. So you can have a look at TPCs. Make a summary of useful definitions and formulae. This is at most required for every chapter, for every subject. It is required last minute preparation के लिए, remember करने के लिए. और आपकी help के लिए हमने क्या किया है, we have provided summary, detailed summary of each and every chapter. इसमें definitions, formulae और important top concepts जो एक बच्चे को पता होने चाहिए, जो बातें, वो सब हमने इसमें इंक्लूड कर दी हैं, बट इन अ वेरी कंसाइज वे. ऐसा भी ना हो कि पूरी बुक ही हमने इसमें डाल दी हो, नहीं. It's a very concise summary. At the same time, it is detailed one also. You will find each and everything happening in the chapter to be here. सब यहाँ मिलेगा आपको. So this way, this book is also helpful. The most important topic: avoid distractions. Reduce the usage of mobile phones and internet for a month. बस उतना यूज कीजिए कि आपको मॉक टेस्ट करना है या सिलेबस लेना है या कोई क्वेश्चन पेपर करना है, क्वेश्चन डाउनलोड करना है, सिर्फ इतना. अदरवाइज अदर यूसेज को आप मिनिमाइज कर दीजिए या जीरो यूसेज कर दीजिए. दैट इज द बेस्ट थिंग दैट यू कैन डू फॉर दिस 1 month, बिकॉज दिस इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट जंक्चर ऑफ योर लाइफ. एंड रिमेंबर दैट इट्स नेवर टू लेट। अगर आपने चीजों को नहीं किया है अब तक भी शुरू, तो आज से ही फ्रॉम दिस वेरी मोमेंट यू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग, यू स्टार्ट प्लानिंग थिंग्स। थोड़ा सा प्लान्ड वे में चलेंगे तो आपके लिए लाइफ बहुत इजी रहेगी। सम टिप्स फॉर द डे ऑफ द एग्जाम। जब जिस दिन आपका एग्जाम हो, एटलीस्ट 2 hours बिफोर यू रीच देयर, you carry your required documents, admit card, photo ID card, photo, and others. Transparent water bottle is allowed to carry. You need to carry a transparent simple ball pen. Remember this, you have to carry. A hand sanitizer bottle will be of help. Blank sheets shall be provided at the test center. आप कोई रिटर्न मटेरियल, कोई पीस ऑफ पेपर या ब्लैंक शीट ना लेकर जाएं अपने साथ। दे विल बी प्रोवाइडेड एट द सेंटर ओनली। सो वो आपको एक कंप्यूटर सिस्टम देंगे काम करने के लिए और ब्लैंक शीट्स देंगे। पेन आपको खुद कैरी करना होगा। Do not carry any geometry box or pencil box, handbag, purse, mobile phone, earphone, paper, stationery, microphone, calculator, smart watch also is also not allowed. Any metallic item, कोई clip है या कुछ भी चीज है, कोई भी device है, gadget है, just avoid them. So this is my submission to you. Now I wish all the students best of luck for their exams, and thank you so much. Now I'll be there are a few questions there. I'll take that. It says does DU count as one college, or the chain of all the colleges are counted differently? See, what we used to have in past, let me tell you first that every college has its own courses, set of courses, and they have their own different sanction strength, student sanction strength. उस बेसिस पे कट ऑफ निकलते थे और एडमिशन होते थे। एडमिशन कॉलेज में होते हैं, बट अंडर द अम्ब्रेला ऑफ दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी। रूल्स, रेगुलेशंस, नॉर्म्स सब डीयू के होते हैं, बट कॉलेजेस वर्क डिफरेंटली इन द वे कि उनके कोर्सेज अलग हैं और एडमिशन के लिए जो कट ऑफ्स आती हैं, परसेंटेज होती है, मेरिट होती है, वो अलग होती है। बट फॉर द CUET the things might be different. We are going to see a little different admission process. अब क्या होगा इसमें, जो CUET के टेस्ट आएगा उसमें आपको मार्क्स मिलेंगे। अब उन मार्क्स के बेसिस पे अलग अलग यूनिवर्सिटी उसको अलग अलग तरीके से हैंडल करेगी। बट यस, आपको एडमिशन लेने के लिए जिस कॉलेज में जाना है उस कॉलेज में आपको एडमिशन लेना होगा जा करके, ना कि DU में। इट विल बी थ्रू DU ओनली। DU की वेबसाइट और एडमिशन प्रोसेस DU हैंडल करता है, बट एडमिशंस कॉलेजेस में होते हैं। So this is what I would like to say. Next question is, sir, does this book contain applied maths questions also? Yes, जो part A है और part B1 है, section A और section B1, it is completely there. As far as section B2, which is meant only for applied mathematics, it is not there in this book, because this book is meant only for the mathematics. So I hand over to Malik sir.
Wow, wonderful session, Dr. Bansal. Thank you very much once again for sharing your valuable thoughts on the all-important upcoming CUET mathematics paper and guiding students how to go about it. We are sure that students taking this test will be immensely benefited by this session. I also thank all those who joined in and wish all the students on behalf of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited all the very best, farewell, and come out with flying colors. Thank you. Have a nice weekend ahead. Thank you.